Hello there folks, it's me RJB from RJB TV, and I return with a slightly different matchup than the last two. Because this time around, we're not going to be seeing Hive on the Protoss, we're going to be seeing him on the Terran instead. And we're going to see Burgersasu on the Zerg. It's Terran against Zerg, one of the most exciting matchups in my opinion. It's not a matchup you very often see because these players on the Korean server, these very good 1v1 players, they kind of tend to resort to Terran against Protoss or Zerg against Protoss. There's always a Protoss, that's the bottom line. These challengers always pick Protoss or Terran. They believe it's the most balanced matchup outside of Protoss against Protoss, but always playing Protoss against Protoss is a little bit boring. But honestly, when you're an observer, viewer, a commentator like you and I, seeing Protoss against Terran every single game, or at least like 90% of the time, this kind of start to feel the same, which means that these Zerg games against Terran are like a breath of fresh air that you've been yearning for. Like you've been drowning in deep, deep water, wild currents, and all of a sudden you manage to stick your head out of the water and take in that large, deep breath of fresh air that you were yearning for because you were suffocating, you were drowning. But now we are saved. We are saved by this nice change of pace. Orange Overlord going to the top, Orange Overlord going to the middle. We have a double hatchery pool build order there from Burgersasu. There is a small chance he might go for a triple hatchery before pool. It's possible, and it is in fact happening. Now this is probably the single most risky build order you can go for if you are a Zerg playing against a Terran. There's not much more risky than this. Very late pool. It's all 9 though. It's a 9 hatchery, 9 hatchery, 9 Overlord, 9 hatchery, and then a 9 pool. But nonetheless, it's risky. This is all going to rely on whether this Hive guy finds him on time. And I guess he will not find him on time. The pool is about halfway done, and by the time this Marine comes in to this base, this pool will probably have finished, which means that we will probably see a couple of Zerglings. Also, he has this Overlord there on the high ground. You can see the Marine walking in. If it was walking in, but it is in fact not walking in. Not sure what Hive is doing here. Did he see this Overlord and think that, hey, he must be in the top corner? He's got to be on the top corner because he's got the choke, the choke, the choke, and the choke, the choke, and the choke. He is looking for a hatchery in the choke. He's not actually scouting entire bases. And this is perhaps the only scenario where going for this 3 hatchery before pool build order is paying off. Because it shouldn't, but it did. But it shouldn't. You get my drift. So now we can see that this player is going for a fast factory. He might go for a bunker supply depot in the front or something just to make that choke point a little bit smaller. He's going to at least build something there. He's not going for a command center yet. It's in fact a supply depot. He's going to reduce the size of that choke point just to make sure that Burgersasu cannot really go for these Zergling counterattacks without... Well, he's just eliminating the option. By reducing the size of the choke point, the Zerglings have less options or possibilities to get through and attack the backside or do anything really. So the Zerglings are out of the map, and Burgersasu doesn't yet know where Hive is either. But he's got a Hive on the way and a Hylisk den as well. He's going for some real big time aggression, building a sunken. He is a little bit slow on the Hylisk den, so the lurker aspect is delayed by about, I'd say about 5 seconds. He's getting lurker aspect now. Like, he had to wait for the gas anyway, so it's not really that bad that it was a little bit delayed. The Overlords are giving away the fact that Hive is moving out. He also had a Zergling right there, which gave it away. Look at this, he's really just focusing on protecting his front from those Zerglings. This is a smart move. Okay, so it goes in over the top side, goes from the north, stims in onto the Sunkens. But that's a lot of Sunkens. Burgersasu, having all that advanced information, has allowed him to build a pretty good defense, a proper defense against these Marines and Firebats. The Marines and Firebats kill one Sunken, but they cannot get close enough to start hitting the lair. He can actually hit this, though. He can hit the top hatchery, but decides against it because he doesn't have a range yet. He needs range to hit that one to stay out of range of this Sunken. He cannot hit that one yet. Maybe if he puts his Marines right there. Instead of that, he decides to relocate to the choke point just to secure the front door to make sure that things cannot really move out, to prevent these Zerglings from getting back into the base. And Burgersasu is fishing for a kill on the tank, and he finds a tank, gets surrounded. Now that is something that makes Burgersasu so good. Goes in with the Zerglings. So yeah, these Zerglings, like he's been running back and forth on the middle, trying to get a catch, trying to get a move that can get him a small little advantage. And killing one tank is honestly pretty big, because that of course slows him down up until this other tank arrives on location. The Overlord's gonna die. That's a little bit of bad luck. Goodbye, Overlord. He's now supply blocked, but the lurkers have finished just on time. I was gonna try to push those. Oh, another one. Turns around just on time. Just about fast enough. Splits them all up. Tank on the way. This time around, no Zerglings to kill that tank. We got a Vessel on the way. We don't have Radiate yet being researched, but a Vessel on the way. Another tank, got level 1 attack on the way there as well. And he's splitting up his units all over this uncovered piece of Burgersasu's base to get some control and reduce the playing field for Burgersasu, but also to start his push from apparently the top side, which is the shortest side to attack from. Like, this all takes much more time than attacking. Over this way, you kill one Sunken, goes in. Oh no. Did not protect the tank that well. You should have had these Marines lined up in front of it. The tank a little bit further away, and you should have waited for the Vessel. Radiate is on the way there, though, for the Vessel, so he's going to try to radiate either the Lurkers or the drones. Both are a good option. But we have Burrow just finished up. I saw Burrow on the top side on the production tab on the top left. It finished up right about now. Burgersasu has his timings on point. He knows exactly what to expect and when to realistically expect it. Pushing back in the Marines. Hive is being pushed back towards the choke point. He's going to clear that there on the left side. Tank is rolling in, sets up, stims in, tries to get us around. Vessel is too far in the back. Cannot really engage on this. He needs to scan. Sees a lot of lurkers there. Pushes forward. Burgersasu is on fire. This is a great move. Slowly regaining control back over his base. Hive is being pushed back. Really well played by Burgersasu. This is exactly why I miss this matchup so much. I love spectating it. I love casting it, because we see things that are much more focused on very precise control, a constant back and forth, much more than Protoss against Terran is. Protoss against Terran just feels much more like Protoss is dishing out attacks and the Terran is responding. There's much less push and pull. Much less a tug of war, whereas this Zerg against Terran feels like a tug of war, where the goal is to very quickly progress into advanced technology, tier 3 technology, and establish dominance one way or another. In this case, it is the fighters with Dark Swarm, getting the Consume, getting Double Evo Chamber, and getting a Spire for Scourge, start spreading out those Overlords, getting Overlord speed as well. It's Overlord speed, right? That is Overlord speed indeed. He's got to get vision on those high grounds to see those vessels coming in from Hive, who's now adding on a second starport. Usually we see double starport, double factory, and do one more and one more. So 3 for 3. But this time around he went for 4 factories before getting his additional 3 starports for 4 and 4. Because one of the most important parts about playing Terran Zerg is keeping the amount of vessels high to keep radiating either the defilers or the lurkers or the drones. You gotta keep the pressure up high, because gas is the most valuable commodity for a Zerg in Zerg against Terran, because the Zerg relies almost entirely on those technology units. The defilers, the lurkers, the guardians, you name it, it relies on gas. So if you can keep killing gas, or keep killing the drones mining minerals, you will build an advantage over the Zerg. Burgersasu is very aggressively pushing forward. The burrow is not really that great. A lot of them are not under the Dark Swarm. We can see that Hive is very wisely putting tanks behind the high ground so that they're out of targeting range for Burgersasu. Burgersasu relocates the remaining lurkers a little bit higher up under the Dark Swarm. The fighters are still on the scene. Does he have a radiate? No radiates. Does he have vessels coming in? One more coming in. Kill walks forward and snipes the defilers, so now these lurkers are kind of trapped on the middle. He needs some reinforcements to back them up. He's going to maybe pull them more towards the top so that they're out of harm's way. Keeps one there on the middle, very smart. The other one's on the top. Not sure if Hive saw that unburrow and that move to the top, but at least these ones are, for now, out of harm's way. Whereas the others are, of course, in harm's way and they're free for the taking. Oh, it's only a single one. And now we're starting to enter the second part of the game. Tried to go in for a radiate on the drones, but couldn't quite get in. Went for an overlord instead. Got Scourges hunting for vessels going across the map. We have these marines marching forward. They find some overlords. Or is he going to go for the drones? I think he should go for the overlords. That's guaranteed damage. He's going to make... Oh, wait, he's going to go for the hatcheries. Great move. Is this a drop? This is a drop. Oh my god, we got a radiate and a drop hack at the same time. The radiate doesn't kill that much. That one's gonna go down. The drop there comes in. Finds the vessel. Valkyries and vessels coming from the top down to the bottom. Kills a couple Valkyries there. Starts unloading. Does he have a lurker in there? He kills a bunch of SCVs. It went down from about 65 down to 46. So he kills 20. It's not the end of the world, but that was a great hit. But Hive has a lot of gas in the bank. Also pushes back those marines and kills them and re-secures his base. Whereas Hive had to pull back all of his units from the middle back to his own base to defend against a drop. Guess this turret there providing vision and control helped him out in the end to respond just on time. But I think if Burgersasu had like a defiler in there, he could have maybe ended the game. That was a great draw from Burgersasu. He's keeping up the pace quite high. Also, this overlord is moving towards this right side. He's going to try to transport these lurkers into the base here from the top corner and run in on the SCVs. So we have two tanks in the back that are going to ensure that those lurkers stay alive. But that's the plan at least. Valkyries are hunting for overlords to kill. Vessel is waiting for his moment to strike. First, he clears out vision, then he goes with the vessels for the radiates. On the bottom side, he unloaded a couple units there to clear out this vision that Hive has established, and these turrets that are keeping control goes in with the vessel. Vessel gets sniped, radiates his own Valkyrie just on time, flies on top of the drones. Drones have to burrow, so that's a lot of lost mining time, but Valkyries have Scourges spawn to take down the Valkyrie. He's pushed into the base. We have Lurker Dark Swarm. He actually decides to pull back and preserve his units because he lost his economy just earlier. Oh, he's going to fly in all the way. Goes in even further south. He's going to try to unload outside of tank range, but oh, he's going to get in there. Gets the kills yet again. One more shot, a couple more shots, running away to safety. We're down from 59 out of 54. So they didn't kill that many, but once again, Burgersasu is not just sitting there in a corner receiving punches to the face. He's actually throwing punches back. This is actually a back and forth. Burgersasu so far has been playing this really well. This is really smart play. Usually when I watch Burgersasu play these Zerg against Terrans, it is a very mechanical play. It's very mechanical. This time around, he's not pulling off any fancy tricks, not doing any fancy micro. He's really relying on his map control, his awareness, and his multitasking to try and just do more than Hive is doing. He's been covering every single option that Hive has to throw at him. So far, it's been quite a smart approach. For the upgrades, we are on 1 Carapace. We're getting a level 2 attack and 2 Carapace there. For Burgersasu, getting level 1 melee attack there on those Zerglings. Carapace is on level 0 at the moment. So can see on these Mulisks, level 0 Carapace, he's filling out the remaining gas on 71 drones in total. I think there's about 30 on the gas, maybe he's filling out the last one right about now, which means the remaining drones are either on the minerals or just sitting about waiting to be turned into hatcheries. Now Hive has recovered from losing his economy or parts of his economy a couple times over. He's still only on, he's behind on supply actually, which doesn't really bode well for Hive. He's currently on 7 of them start boards, he's adding on a couple more factories, he's finally getting his entire production rolling, but he needs a couple more of those supply depots because he is supply blocked at the moment. We have a couple of the Vars there on the bottom side trying to push back against the Valkyries and the vessels, but the Guardians that are in the mix don't really provide much protection against these Goliaths for the Vars. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. The Vars protect the Guardians and Guardians protect the Vars. It didn't really work out that well in the end, but he has at least he has a couple of them lurkers there in the front, burrowed up underneath the Dark Swarm. But Hive is planning on setting up tanks on this ledge here to shoot across and try to at least make it harder for Burgersasu to control this pathway, because everything that has to go through this pathway will get hit by the tanks. This is an overload drop. It is, in fact, an overload drop. Sorry, I had to drink something because my throat was getting dry and dry. Flies in over the middle. Perhaps not the best path of approach, but a couple of these overlords will apparently arrive on location, radiate some of the overlords, immediately snipes the Defilers. Really well done. He had to do that. If the Defilers manage to get a Dark Swarm off, this might have once again... Oh no, he's killing SCVs with the radiated overlord. Oh! Okay, so he gets out of that without really taking a lot of damage. Like, the damage that Hive did take was from a radiated overlord killing some of his SCVs. I think he lost like 4 or 5, which still hurts, but it's like the least amount of pain to suffer. So Guardians and Devourers pushing forward, tanks being pulled back, Valkyries coming in to try and take down the Devourers. They have level 1-1 upgrades against the 1-0 on the air there for Burgersasu. Vessels radiating the Devourers first so that the Valkyries can start clearing out those Guardians. Oh, we got Mutalisks coming in, but perhaps the Mutalisks are... they're gonna win. As the support debuff is pretty big. Likewise, we have 2 vessels there from Hive at the same time going in to try and radiate drones, but nope, not gonna happen. Scourges are right there on time. Burgersasu could see everything with the vision he has across the map. Once again, another drop. He's just going for drops, and drops. But the Mutalisks went in a little bit too early, and now these Overlords are not really going to achieve too much. He unloads, loses the Defiler right from the start. Burrow... nope. That one... the attempt was cute. Sadly, it wasn't effective. Attack from the front. Perhaps that is going to work. Burgersasu is throwing all sorts of attacks at Hive. I wouldn't say at the same time, but in very close succession. It's difficult to move back and forth, it's difficult to respond, it's difficult to prepare. He finds an opening in the front because everything is in the back. The front is getting infested by Zerg. Dark Swarm Lurker burrowing up, setting up shop, and taking control. Hive moves his tanks from the back to the front. We have a couple Guardians in the sky, but there's no protection for them, unless you count these Hiveless as protection. I think he lost the Defiler. He's gonna have to... oh, drone radiate party. He lost 7 of them. He had like 76 drones, now down to 69. It's an Overlord. So yeah, he responded on time, but that does slow him down. It does distract him. So both players are doing a pretty good job at multitasking, with both players are also going at it blow for blow. Although I would say at the moment that it does look like Burgersasu is in the driver's seat. His supply is way too close to Hive. Hive doesn't have all of his gas yet. He lost some structures. He's down to 7 factories. He had more. Well, he only had 10, but 10 is of course more than 7. But yeah, he's recovering. He's trying to get a handle back on his own base, because his own base so far this game has been getting attacked pretty much all the time. He has managed to attack Burgersasu as well, but not to the same amount of success. Great plague there on the Valkyries. Goes in with his Multitasking, comes in with a Scourge, splits up the Multitasking. Great move there. Ooh, a counter radiates there on the Multitasking, but not as effective as he would have liked, but at least he kills some stuff in return for losing his Valkyries. So far, Hive has not been managing to get a hold on this game. It's always been Burgersasu being 1 or 2 moves ahead of him. Always 1 or 2 moves ahead of him. But Hive has played a pretty good game. He's managed to at least prevent, time and time again, disastrous amounts of damage. He's managed to kind of stay as close to Burgersasu as he can economically, but also in terms of army diversity and army size. Great plague there. Every single Valkyrie gets absolutely demolished. A couple of them are still alive, but they're going to die very soon. Guardians pushing over the middle. Do we have Guardian protection for the tanks? No, we got 1 Goliath. Couple vessels, couple mines in the middle as well. I think he's going to have to switch away from the Valkyries and go towards more Goliaths. But if you switch towards more Goliaths, Overlord drops become a bigger problem as time goes on. He also has to clear out all these units spread out across the map from Burgersasu. He has to get control, but Burgersasu is not just going to let him get control because he's always pushing back on every attempt Hive is trying to make. Likewise here. He's building turrets, but he's going to lose these turrets very soon to either the Guardians or Hydralisks. Likewise on the top side, he has managed to kill the Zerglings that were spread about, but he's probably going to get control back here on the northern side as well. A couple tanks there are protecting, or at least covering that choke point, making it harder for Burgersasu to move out. It's a small little something, but it's not much. Finally, more Goliaths are being mixed in. He's still making a couple Valkyries. Well, a couple has a lot of them actually. But at least more Goliaths to fight against the Guardians, because the Vars are really just eliminating the Valkyries from contention. Like, Valkyries are great, but not against the Vars. And he does have pretty good upgrades there because he's double Spire, so he's currently on 2-2 for his air, and his ground was on, let me just see, 3-2, so 3-3 for the Hydras and the Lurkers, 3-2 for the Zerglings. Pretty strong. 3 Carapace is pretty strong. Likewise, we have no armor upgrades there from Hive. No armor upgrades from Hive. That's quite surprising. He went for 2 air, 2... Yeah, he has 2-2 on the air, but 0-3 on the ground. But at least he's got the damage upgrades. But having some armor upgrades helps as well, because these upgrades on the Zerg do start to hurt quite a lot. They do start to hurt quite a lot. Get a little bit closer towards... it looks like Hive has managed to take back control. He's done enough. But now we got a big Guardian Devour attack there from Burgersasu. And I don't think that Hive has enough to defend himself against... Does he have a lot of Radiates? How many vessels do we have? 6 vessels. The Valkyries don't stand a chance. We have some Goliaths, but not enough of them. This is a lot of Guardians. Burgersasu has been cooking up this Guardian Devour army for quite some time now, but the Radiates on the Devours are pretty good, which he's waiting. Oh no, the Valkyries got plagued. I mean, ensnared. So they're hella slow, but he's gonna clear out this army here first. The Devours are not targeting the Valkyries, which means the Valkyries actually clear out the Guardians quite easily. And that attack from Burgersasu definitely did not do what I thought it would. The control there was a little bit lackluster, but Burgersasu has noticed that there are a lot of Valkyries and a lot of vessels in the sky for Hive. And in response to that, he is making a large army of his own Ultralisks. And they will have, let me see, yeah, 5 Carapace. That is big. Level 2 attack there on the Ultralisks. A couple tanks there behind the high ground that are hurting a lot because he does have level 3 attack, so that hurts a lot. The SMEs are actually blocking unintentionally. He's targeting the Filer. This one dies before it arrives. Valkyries in the sky. Vessels arriving as well. cannot quite get in there. At least taking a lot of damage, almost ultralisk, before they even arrive. And now they get one shot as they get in closer, and they are arriving. But we have Valkyries in the sky hitting the Overlords. Comes in with the Radiates, burrows just on time, but that's a lot of Valkyries in the sky. Little vessels in the sky. It's gonna take a while to kill them. And some of them do make their escape. Burgersasu's supply is dropped by a bunch, but we have a big Overlord drop there. Is there actually anything in there? This is all empty, isn't it? Is he gonna go for a double Overlord drop? I don't think it's gonna work here, though. Because we have Vision here on the bottom side. Gets radiated. He's gonna have to unload all of this. The attempt was cute, but this should have gone in first to pull all of the air units back home and then go in with the other one. So both players are still attempting a lot of different kinds of things to try and get themselves a lead or try to break through, do something. This is the fake one. Not quite succeeding. Clearing out those tanks there that are hurting him and moving out from his base. Every single time they walk through, they took damage. So he's trying to set up on the middle, but gets surrounded, sieges up, but nope, that's gonna go down. That's gonna go down very quick. But Burgersasu lost all of his Overlords, so he is rebuilding them, but that does hurt his production for a short little bit. Actually, this is being a little bit more effective than I thought it would be. Look at this. It's being more effective than it should be. The one tank in the front, a couple more there in the choke point, but pretty far away. So the Matrix, that is gonna help him for sure. Well, not as much as I thought it would. So again, there's a lot of vision on the map. Turrets pushing Overlords away. Valkyries in the sky, engineering base, barracks, and vessels. He's throwing like 10 vessels at this every single time. Great plague. So instead of going for he's gonna go for the drones, right? He's gonna go for the drones. Goes in all the way. The Matrix there on a couple of those vessels. Tries to get in on top of the drones. Drones are willing to save. They're burrowing up, and they do survive. A couple of them. No, I don't think any of them died. Well, at least one died. So yeah, a great move there for Burgersasu, who has been responding to these attempts on his drones very well. Big army in the sky, a lot of the Vars going forward. This time around, all the Valkyries do get debuffed by the acid spores. 9 is the maximum. They're absolutely getting destroyed. Who's gonna win? It does look like the Valkyries are gonna win this one because we don't have enough extra damage there for the Vars to really take care of the Valkyries. But his attack over the front side is what is the real problem. Because Hive just lost a lot of units on the middle, doesn't have a lot of units back at home, and there doesn't seem to be anything that can stop this Lurker Hydralisk Dark Swarm push from progressing forward. And we also have Guardians coming from the left side now, while the Valkyries are largely dead and gone. He has vessels in the sky, but he just threw a lot of his vessels away to kill drones, so he doesn't have energy on the vessels that he does have. It looks like this might just be the tipping point where Hive threw away too many of his vessels at a really critical point in time, and Burgersasu just immediately pulled the trigger, moved across the map and started the attack. This just turned around really quickly. We had a little bit of a silly back and forth where players were trying out different methods of attack non-stop, but none of them seemed to really work. And all of a sudden, Burgersasu just steamrolled because Hive threw his entire supply away down the drain. And when you do that, you stand the chance of pretty much immediately losing the game, kind of like this. So Burgersasu wins 3 games, well, 2 games in a row. He lost the first one. He was winning, but then lost to a mind control. So does it really count? I don't know. The last 2 games he played very well, and this game he showed a lot of restrained control, planning, multitasking, and Hive responded in kind, but Hive seemed a little bit discombobulated. Let's put it like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's RG from RGB TV, and I hope to see you return for the next video. See you soon.